Greg and Jennifer Willits join us now to talk about their upcoming live and interactive marriage enrichment coaching course called Exceptional Together that begins on May 15th. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, glad to be here. Anytime we can be on Catholic TV, it's a huge honor to be here.
And of course, many of our viewers know you from that Catholic sitcom you did many years back, and some of the many things you've done, Mass Confusion as well. And I know you've been involved in many things over the year, videos, writing. But talk about this new web series on marriage. It's sort of a groundbreaking thing. Tell us how it all came about and what made you decide to do that.
Well, we've been creating media for 15 years together, and starting with podcasting, we did Sirius XM radio for over 4 years. We've continued doing podcasting and all sorts of video and audio stuff. And we've always had these common things that people have said, that sitting with you at a table, it's like, or sitting there listening to you is like drinking coffee with friends on the weekends after Mass, of getting together with good friends. And then we've also had a lot of people just saying, how is it that you're so happy in your marriage? What is it that you do? And we've been married 22 years, and we have 5 kids, and we're extremely busy, and we have problems just like everyone else. But we started to realize we truly do have and have been blessed with an exceptional marriage. But it wasn't always that way. We had to learn so many critical lessons to help us to be able to propel ourselves to that place where we could say God has blessed us with an exceptional marriage. We're exceptional together. And you know, we can do things on our own. We like spending time on our own. But when we do come together, there's always a magic that comes about. There's a joy that comes about. There's a happiness when we're together. And we realize we have so many friends and family members that they have good marriages, but there's something that's just missing, that they're not doing everything they could to truly be exceptional.
You know, I could easily say I have a good marriage because I'm content. And we tend to define success based on our comfort levels, and our own definition of success will vary from one person to the next. So it's very easy to feel like, well, I'm good. You know, I'm in a happy marriage. I share a home with my spouse and all is well. And it's very easy to get fixated on the idea that a marriage is just the joining of 2 bodies. You know, we hear the term one flesh, and it really gets rooted in our minds that it's just a physical thing, a body thing. We can just be in the same room with each other and that's enough. But it really is far more than that. And it's more about what are you thinking about? What kind of thoughts run through your mind? Where's your communication in your marriage? And it really is more mindset than anything else. And we started to realize a lot of our listeners were experiencing pains with communication. They just didn't know how to talk to one another. But they were really inspired by the way Greg and I would. So we started to take a more intentional look about, well, what are we doing and how can we teach other couples to have a greater sense of communication so they don't have to live trapped in their own minds? Because you've been there. If you've laid in bed next to your spouse, your thoughts are constantly in motion, and you're going and you realize you're kind of just living there and feeling and acting according to those thoughts. But your spouse is doing the exact same thing right next to you, and you realize, are we even in sync anymore, or are we living 2 very different sensations and feelings, and we have different expectations? And we thought, oh my, we really need to help people sort of get away from that pain, because if you don't, imagine what would happen over time, 5 years, 10 years of this miscommunication within the marriage. Does that lead you to a better place? I think not.
It's probably kind of funny that there's someone watching right now that didn't wake up this morning thinking, you know what, I think I want to sign up for a marriage enrichment coaching course. You know, that's just like, you probably never woke up one morning and said, you know what, I think I want to buy 10 exercise DVDs and a wall calendar. And next thing you know, you're watching, P90X infomercials. The reason why you do that is because you realize the value in investing and taking care of your body, right? You realize that it might be work, it might be difficult, and you might be content. You might have a good body now, but you want to have a great body, so you're willing to do the work. But how often do we do that for our marriages? How often do we say, I have a good marriage, but what can we do to make sure that our future is not just good, but it's exceptional, that we're witnesses for Christ, not as individuals, not just as individuals, but as a couple, that we are exceptional in the way we handle our finances and prepare not just for our futures and our children's futures, but our grandchildren's futures. What are we doing to really propel what we're doing for the future? And our duty as Catholic married couples is that we are supposed to be witnesses together of Jesus Christ. And so what are we doing to actually invest in that and to make sure that we're building up those marriage muscles to be able to do exactly that?
And talk about, if you can, this is 6 live webinar sessions. Talk a little bit about that, and you're giving some practical advice, tips, and how can people participate in it?
Well, basically what we've done is we've created a 6-part series where there are 6 45-minute live interactive courses that anyone who wants to attend can basically sign in and register for the class that grants them access to the live feed, the live webinar feed. So one, it's great that it's coming right into their home. There is no travel involved. They can be as comfortable as they want to be. But we're going to work hard. That's the whole point. We're going to teach you some wonderful principles that you had likely already forgotten and had stopped putting into practice. And then we're going to give homework assignments and open up for Q&A. We're going to do that 6 nights, or 6 like every Tuesday and Thursday between May 15th and May 31st. And each session builds on the next so that we can empower all attendees to learn how to problem solve what's actually happening in their marriages that are disempowering them.
So those 6 sessions will be 6 different sessions. And so once you sign up, you get in for all 6 of them. In addition to the 45 minutes of the actual course that we're doing, each evening we'll also have about half an hour of interactive Q&A. So we expect the people who are there that want to build their marriage, that they have questions, that they want help, that they want to hear from other people. How do we get past these plateaus that we found ourselves in, whether it be a plateau in communication or their sex lives or finances or dealing with their kids? How do they get past that plateau so that they're really going upwards again to experience that exceptional relationship? So they can go to exceptionaltogether.com is the website, and they can register today. It is limited because we want to make sure that we can give that attention to people that participate. So there are still some seats available, and if they go to exceptionaltogether.com, they can read more about it and sign up for it right now.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Greg and Jennifer, for joining us again. It sounds like a great opportunity for people to enhance their marriages and get a little bit closer to each other, and it sounds like some great work there, so check it out. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to the rest of This Is the Day.